Book review, clap, clap. Oh, I'm kind of, I'm kind of revealing. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know where my dagger is, but I usually hold to keep up the mic. But so I'll just have to hold it today. But just finished. Just finished. Spent all morning finishing it. Morningstar, final book of the Red Rising trilogy, third book in the series. I'll just say, spoiler alert, right off the bat. Um, I mean, it was good. It was definitely good. 'Cause I haven't. It's been like over a year since I read Golden Sun. That put me in a very bad mental state. Had a very bad mental breakdown from it. Still not completely over it, but I was to the point where I could read this, which was good. But yeah, so definitely in the beginning I was very confused on some people, uh, and all the names and stuff. But I got into it more as I read, obviously. Um, he's just such a good writer. Pierce Brown is just such a good writer. Captivating combat. Spent a lot of time with the naval combat in this one. Dude, like the battle with Roke, I thought was gonna be like the whole rest of the book, and then it wasn't. It ended kind of pretty quickly, very sick way. But yeah, after the battle, I was like, where the fuck does this go from here? And then the ending was very nicely tied up in a little bow, which makes me, because I know, like, I'm pretty sure at least it was supposed to be a trilogy, and then he continued it. At least that's what I heard. I don't know how true that is, but now I'm like, where the fuck does this story go? Is it a time jump? Different characters? Obviously, there's some loose threads with them trying to rebuild society. I don't know where it goes. I'm definitely intrigued. I don't know how long it'll be till I read the next one. So it was just such a nice ending. I kind of want to just stay in that for a while. But Jackal's dead, Aja's dead, Sovereign's dead. Uh, Cassius kind of had his little redemption in this. You know, I'm still not completely forgiven of Cassius. My friends know why. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's hard not to like him. It's just my own, personal problems that make me not able to really like him all the way. But that first I gotta say, Victra and Severo are my like two favorite characters. So having them get together is very nice. Having their romance just be sweet is very nice to read. And then when we got to that, the final stretch of the book where they go to let Cassius out and he just, you know, 180 kills Severo, I was like, I'm so fucking done with this book. Fuck this shit. Because at the wedding, like, I was crying and I was like, oh my god, this is so sweet. They're gonna die such horrible deaths, though. And I was very upset about that. I was very, sad just thinking about that. And then when the time came and how it happened, I was just like, that's how it happens. Darrow, I think it's Darrow, right? Darrow, you dumb piece of shit. What the I didn't cry. I was just so, like, deflated. I was like, that's how you fucking do it? I imagined Severo was gonna die eventually. But, like, that's also under the assumption that the rest of the series follows this cast of characters, which it may not. Like, yeah, I feel like I remember my men's my friends mentioning a time skip somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I feel like there's a time skip. It obviously introduces Mustang and Darrow's son Pax at the end. Maybe he becomes a new main character or something. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know anything about the next uh part of the series, and I want it to stay that way. The only thing I know is a quote that was spoiled to me. Um, yeah, it's weird. 'Cause I finished the book. I had so many feelings, so many thoughts. Now I'm blanking. Um, like at the beginning of the book. Damn, it's so crazy. I'm just now thinking about like how where the characters were when the book started and now where how it ended. I was like, damn, how did I get there? But with them breaking Darrow out of uh the hands of the enemy at the beginning, really sick, really sick scene. Hearing Severo talk to Darrow and be like, you gotta come home to me, man. That got me. And then as they get Darrow back up to speed. Also, Darrow fucking getting Victra out too. I'm getting emotional. This is a good book. But yeah, getting Victra out. And then, them getting Darrow up to speed, and, Darrow's telling Victra, like, hey, I did lie to you, and I'm sorry, but, like, from this moment on, if you accept, like, you are my fucking sister. Like, I will love you. I will, do all this shit for you and stuff. Then Victra officially joins the Rising, I guess. I feel so exposed in my tank top. Um, yeah, such when them you know breaking into the fucking when they're trying to get Quicksilver, and they stumble upon the meeting of the the crew, Mustang, Quicksilver, uh, Moira, Cassius. I was like, oh fuck, what happens now? Is there? I don't know, man. I don't know what to say right now. Ragnar, Ragnar dying. That was rough. I didn't think he was gonna die so soon. The whole part of them being on, I forget what planet or moon it was, but like the Ragnar's home. I thought that was very interesting. Um, Part of the book. It wasn't like bad or anything, but it felt kind of off to me. It was both, they killed Ragnar, so I was in the best mindset. But Darrow is definitely annoying sometimes. He's just too loyal, He's just a little too loyal, which is why I kind of believed it when he let Cassius go, and then Cassius, killed Severo. But yeah, back to that part of the book. When that happens, I was so fucking done. I was like, I don't even really want to read this anymore. This just sucks. It wasn't even like I was angry. I was just like, that's it, I was like, this sucks, man. I was just praising this book to myself, I was like, wow, this is so good. Now that happens. But then, I'm like, you know what? I'll just fucking trudge along, just finish it. Glad I did. Um, when they're fighting Aja together, and then Cassius throws the syringe to Darrow, and he's running over to Severo. I was just like, there we go. Because I don't know where the story goes. I don't want to know. But I was I have always expected kind of Darrow to die at some point. I feel like this is the kind of story that would kill off its main character. So I was kind of expecting that to happen at the end of the book, especially when Jackal was nuking Luna. And it was like, you kill yourself, bro. Kill yourself. I'll stop this. And I saw that one of the next chapters was the Veil, so I was like, he's probably gonna die. But no, he just ripped out his tongue. Sweet. So yeah, dude, like I just don't know what to think because I don't know what the next book is. I would kind of like it to have like a shift of focus. I think if it like ended like right how it does in here, where him Mustang, they go off live together, have their happy ending. Victra, Severo, they do their thing, and then maybe it just follows Pax in the next series or next part of the series would be cool. I don't know. I just feel like he wrapped up people's stories so nicely. It would kind of hurt to have to see them go on, keep fighting, inevitably die. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. This really isn't much of a review. It's just me just kind of venting, or not venting, but just like talking about it, trying to process stuff. Um, but yeah, the prison break in the beginning was really cool. See how I really expected um at some point the Jackal to like have recorded him torturing Darrow and how Darrow just like told him whatever he knew because he was broken. That's another thing. He was talking about how he was tortured and how he like just completely broke. I was like, oh, that sucks because you want Darrow to be this huge hero and never like backing down or whatever. But then it also like grounds the story where it's like, dude, like this dude is like the equivalent of a coal miner, and now he's just thrust into this war. So like, it's hard to expect him to just not give in to torture, especially to a sadistic fuck like Jackal. Um, this was much more of like political kind of mind games fighting. I feel like they're fighting more with their minds than their swords, as in contrast to like the previous ones. So I feel like you didn't get to see too much of Darrow being a badass. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, like he still does badass things, but I feel like fighting obviously was just much more naval combat kind of oriented. So it was just kind of different. Not bad way, not in a bad way though. Um, the way Roke went out, I don't know. I wasn't really expecting him to kill himself. I thought he would die. Like Darrow's just too loyal. Like I understand he loves Roke, but like, dude, he betrayed you, man. Like, look what he happened to Victra. Like, even if you can forgive him, like, how can you like kind of let that slide a little bit? But he let Roke do the honorable thing, and then I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of those are some of my thoughts. Maybe I'll do another one. Maybe I'll just do a video of just me breaking down the first or what the whole trilogy. But like, yeah, my main thoughts is just where the fuck does this story go? Like, it feels like this cast of characters story is done. There is more that there could be told with this characters, but the stakes feel so low. Like they'd have to introduce a whole new cast of villains. It's like, they built up the Jackal so much. It's like, I don't know. It's just it's I don't I'm very interested to see where this goes. Because I do remember one of my friends who's already read the whole series mentioning that in one of the books there's just a whole bunch of different like perspectives and like perspective shifts from chapter to chapter, which is another theory to why I thought Darrow would die. He could still, if he's in the next books. Honestly, if the story kind of picks up where it left off, I fully expect Darrow to die, 100%. Especially now that his son uh is out there, I definitely expect that to happen. Which is why I'm kind of hoping he's not in the next books. Yeah, the Red Rising trilogy, very good. For this book, I'd probably give it an 8. I was definitely intrigued by it, or invested in it, I guess I could say. Or just he's a very good writer in how he writes conversations, uh, mind games and shit, combat especially. Honestly, while I was reading this, the less I just kind of cared about Darrow and Mustang's relationship. The way he wrote like Darrow and Mustang, it was just the same thing. He was just like always talking about how much Darrow was in love with her. It was just like the same shit over and over. I just kind of stopped caring after like what happened in the second book. My friends know. I just really stopped caring about the relationship. I got Victra and Sabro now. That's the A team. Um, yeah, dude, that would be pretty sick if the next part of the series was just Severo and Victra's kid and their own Mustang's kids. That'd be pretty cool. Like a next generation thing, or maybe like it starts with having have like rebuilt society a little bit, but now like there's some like a kind of an uprising that the kids now kind of have to they're at the focal point of it now, and like everybody else is like retired or some shit. Yeah, I don't know. I think next I'm gonna read. Well, I do have some manga I want to catch up on. Also, really want to read my Terry Pratchett books. Because those are much more easy and relaxing. These books are stressful. But yeah, Morningstar, I'll give it an 8. I think my order of like the best ones, or the order of the trilogy from best to worst, you know, just least favorite. Really, there's no bad books in this fucking trilogy. I think my number one would be Golden Sun, despite the um mental breakdown it caused me. It was bad. It was bad. But yeah, that shit destroyed me. But I powered through eventually and read it all. I do think that one is very good in terms of the action, and the twist in the end did feel very fast. But after reading this, whatever happened to Harmony? Did she die? I don't remember them ever saying really what happened to her. Yeah, I just thought about that. But yeah, after reading this one, I can definitely look back on the ending. And while yeah, I was kind of quick turnaround in that book, I'm able to look back and accept it better. Uh, Second, I would do Morningstar, and then I think the first one. Morningstar and the first one could probably maybe be switched. Um, but yeah, first one was really good. My only kind of complaint about the first one is that it just feels very YA at times. Um, which is crazy to think about, considering how the whole books are wrote, written. But yeah, the first one just at times felt a little YA, like in the beginning how they're talking about the Laurels and stuff, and then at the end where Daryl's like, "What, you want me to stay away from your daughter?" I was like, "Okay, dude, this fuck." I just remember this when they're storming Roke's bridge, and there's like one of the like I don't know, one of his bodyguards or some shit, and she's like introducing herself as like, "My name is Felicia, whatever," and Victor just kind of cuts her off and kills her, and she's like, "Bye, Felicia." I fucking love that shit. It took me out of it a little bit, but I always appreciate little like Easter egg memes and stuff like that. So it took me out a little bit, but overall I really loved it. And I was like, "Oh, this dude knows what's up." But yeah, I'm just so interested in seeing where the story goes. But yeah, I'm probably gonna take a break. I hate reading series. I hate reading series. It stresses me out because I'm just thinking about the next one. It's like I want to read a book, and when it's done, I want to be done with it. You know. But that's why like we're reading Terry Pratchett, because while there are like it is technically like a series, they're so relaxed, easygoing, and kind of like standalone ish, where like you can kind of read it with no anxiety. But yeah, I also want to read a romance. I need to read a good romance. It's just romance is so hard to find for me. Like I got mental issues. I have very strict bullet points that romance needs to hit for me to read it. But yeah, Morningstar, I'll give it an 8. It was cool, sick, nice little ending. We'll see what happens in the future. Yeah, I think that's it.